Joe Rogan is now consistently attending a Christian church. Let's talk about his faith journey. So in the early years, Joe Rogan was very critical of organized religion. He really highlighted people like Richard Dawkins and Sam Harris, and he kind of spouted arguments from new atheism and felt very confident in that. He called religious people delusional. He was very skeptical about organized religion. Then there's a couple things that shifted. One is he started talking openly about psychedelics and having an ego death and meeting with God and those feelings of oneness that you can get on psychedelics. And like 2/3 of atheists who do psychedelics, they're more open to ideas about God after using psychedelics. And this is where he starts to get guests on his show that not only talk about psychedelics and mysticism, but also religion as ancient wisdom, or religion as archetype or helpful mythology, or as something that's stabilizing, just more complex arguments of religion, Jordan Peterson types. And then two things happened. One, he started to get concerned about a collapse of collective values and societal decline. He started to get concerned about moral relativism. He started to get concerned about nihilism. And that's the first thing. And then the second thing is that he started to have a greater appreciation for the moral structure that religion provides that secularism so far has not been able to produce. So he hasn't fully left his skepticism, but he doesn't see Christianity now just as a con or just as a cult. He sees it more as a cultural immune system that can help with things like moral relativism and nihilism and moral clarity and spiritual wisdom and spiritual foundations, and even guides for things like psychedelics. And he sees it as a structure that can support all that. And this is a road that so many modern men are exploring, where earlier on they're just like really on board with new atheism, and then later on they understand more of the complexities of what religion provides that secularism doesn't, and then just like being more open to that, especially with psychedelics use, than maybe they were when they were younger, when they have that kind of spiritual hunger. And the reason I want to watch this is I see one of two things happening. I see some people step into secularism and nihilism and realize that without shared myths, we don't have community. When we don't have community, we don't have so many other things as humans that we need. And then they just like jump back into religion, like we saw with Ayaan Hirsi Ali. Or are skeptical, critical thinking types going to be able to shift Christianity to force it to let go of some of its more dogmatic truth claims, or its historical truth claims, or its supernatural truth claims, and instead be a structure that will allow for criticism and non-literal belief, but be able to still participate. I'm hoping the second more than the first, but it would be nice if this would force Christianity to essentially shift in a way that allows for non-believers, which then could make it more like what secular Judaism is in places like New York City, where belief is not a requirement in order to practice in the religion and get a lot of the benefits from the religion and from the community. So what do you think? Is Joe Rogan the new Russell Brand? Let me know.